Welcome back, grade 10s. Now let us continue with question 2 of our review. So we're reviewing the mathematics paper 2 from November 2017. Okay, so let's see what question 2 has in store for us. Okay, they're saying that a learner did a project on climate change at 1400 each day, which is about 2 p.m. or which is actually 2 p.m. She recorded the temperature in degrees Celsius for a certain town. The information is given in the frequency table below. So this is an example of grouped data here, right? Okay, because we don't have the individual values of the temperatures that she has recorded, but rather we know that between 20 degrees and 24 degrees, there are two values of temperature that fall within that category, and so on and so forth. Okay. So let us look at this. So for temperatures that are between 20 and 24, we have two of them. Recorded values between 24 and 28, there are 4. Between 28 32, there are 9, and so on. Okay. So now let's look at the first question. For how many days did the learner collect the data? So if we want to find out the number of days for which she has collected the data, we're going to sum up the frequency, right? Because remember that she recorded the temperature each day, right, for a certain town. So it means that if there's a recording between 20 and 24, that would be for each day, right? So it means that she has made 2 recordings, right? There are 2 days where the temperature was between 20 and 24. And there are 4 days where the temperature was between 24 and 28. So it means that the frequency here is going to give us the number of days in total. Okay. So we are going to sum up all of these values here. So let's write that down here on solutions. Let's have solutions. Right. Solutions. So for the number of days here, we're going to say 7 plus 3, that's 10. Then we have 5 plus 4, that's 9. And we have these 2 here, which could be added to this 9 and that other 9. So in total, we should have 30 days. So that would be 30 days like that. Okay. Now for 2.2, they're saying write down the model class of the data. So the model class is the class that has the highest frequency. So in this case, that would be 28 T 32. Because looking at the data here, the highest frequency we have is 9, right? So now for 2.3, they say estimate the mean of the data. So now for this one, you might want to even have an extra column here and call that column midpoints, right? So what you're going to do for us to be able to estimate the mean here, we have to have the midpoints of these 2 here. So now we're going to have the midpoint of 20 and 24. So you'd say 20 plus 24 divided by 2, and that should give us 22. So let me just write this up here, that we want the midpoint, right? The midpoint of T. And the midpoint of 24 and 28, that should give us 26. The midpoint of 28 and 32, that should give us 30. And we're going to continue the trend here. So 32 plus 36 divided by 2, that should give us 34. And this would be 38 like that. And 40, so and 44, so that should be 42 like that. So now the question is, what's the reason behind that? So if we want to estimate, if you want to estimate the mean of the data here, so we can say estimate of the mean, or the mean estimate here, it's equal to the sum of the frequency, right, multiplied by the midpoint. The midpoint of the class interval that you're going to have there, divided by the frequency again. So hence we need to find the midpoint, because we are going to say the sum of f multiplied by the midpoint like that. So when we say estimate there, we can say equals to, and now we can write down this information there. So for the first one, we're going to have 22. We're going to have 22 times 2 plus 4 times 26 plus 9 times 30 plus 5 times 34 plus 7 times 38 plus 3 times 42, and all over the sum of the frequency, which is 30 like that. And now you can quickly punch this into the calculator and we can see what we are going to get there. Okay, so now as you make your calculation here, you'll see that you're going to have 980 over 30. And when you punch in this information into your calculator, you are going to get 32 rather, comma 666, and I think it's 6 recurring. So now we're going to just cut it off and round off our answer, which will give us 32,67, and you have the units there, which would be degrees. So the mean, the estimate of the mean in this case would be 32,67 degrees like that. Okay. Now let's go on to the final question. Calculate the percentage of days on which the temperature was at least 28 degrees. Was at least 28 degrees, right? So now the temperature was at least 28 degrees, right? So now looking at our data here, we see that on the number of days where it was at least, so meaning that the smallest number that you can have here in terms of degrees is 28, the smallest, because it says at least 28 degrees, right? So now 28 here becomes the minimum. So now we're going to have the number of days where the number of degrees is 28 going up. So we have 9 here, 5, and 7, and we have 3 here. Okay. So now this would be 7 plus 3, that would be 10. And we are going to have 9 plus 5 there, which would be 14. So it means that when it was at least, so the number of days would be 9 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3, giving us 24, like that. So now these are the number of days. These are the number of days where the smallest, where you say at least, so meaning that the smallest was 28 there. And they said, calculate the percentage So we have to represent this information as a percentage. So the number of days as a percentage, it would be 24 over 30 multiplied by 100 like that. And then now you're going to see that the calculation will give you 80%. So meaning that 80% of the days, the number of degrees was, when it was at least 28, is 80%. Okay. So that's about it for this review, and catch you on the next one. Thank you.